You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. I'm looking forward to talking to our next guest. So, you know how many times in life we need sound, unbiased financial advice? Way too many times, all the time. And as we get older, all the reasons, we don't even know all the reasons we're gonna need this. And our next guest, she is the founder and CEO of Unbiased, which is a personal finance platform, unbiased.com, that helps match people with sound, unbiased financial advisors for all the different reasons. Like right now I have teenagers, I'm trying to get ready for them to go to college, and I probably should have needed her in my life a long time ago, but it's one of the things on my mind. So many reasons, so I'm excited to welcome Karen Barrett to America Trends. Welcome to the show, Karen.
Hi, Mary. It's lovely to speak to you.
Nice to meet you too. I love your accent. And you know, actually, Unbiased was first a UK-based company, right? And now you've just launched in the United States as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It was UK based for a long time, and we've recently brought our service to the US because there's nothing like it globally. And we saw the need in the US with, I'm sure, the cost of living crisis, inflation, etc. People are really focused on their finances. So we've brought it across the pond.
Absolutely. And you know, when I was thinking, you know, sound, unbiased financial advice and trustworthy as well, that's one of the things, because you make sure that they're regulated and you vet the financial advisors ahead of time before you match people up. But first, I want to back up to your story on how you started this in the first place.
Yes, so despite having worked in personal finance all my life, I actually set up Unbiased when my second child had a pretty significant health scare. And despite having worked in personal finance for my whole career, I hadn't taken my own advice and I wasn't particularly well prepared. And so when I came to look for an advisor for my own needs, it wasn't easy, and I had to look through lots of lists, and it was really difficult for me to find someone who suited my needs. And so what unbiased.com does now is does custom matches where we'll collect a little bit of information from the user, and we collect a lot of information from the professional advisor, from the RIA, and we will match them. So those custom matches mean that your data is not going to multiple parties. You can be sure that you trust the end user and your advisor. And it just means really that you can get the right advice for you, which is what I needed when I set up the business.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had that scare. And it just reminds me, though, of how we have no idea what's going to come our way, whether it's with our children, our aging parents, especially when we're in this, age. I'm in this age range where I have children and an aging mom. That's, I'm in the middle of the two things. And plus, retirement's looming. So all these different reasons where we need to kind of be focused on financial planning. And then, I saw on your website, we just had it up a second ago, where you could go, the user goes and kind of clicks the different boxes of college or divorce, all these different things. And it's so great how it's set up. It looks very user friendly.
Yeah, so this is interesting. You make reference to what we call the sandwich generation.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of big decisions that are financially related, but are really about you managing your life. And it's interesting, we've seen with the pandemic and then recently, inflation getting out of control, wages increasing, big life decisions don't stop. People don't stop having babies. They don't stop needing to move home. They don't stop their retirement plans. And actually, I think that's really where Unbiased comes in. You can set up yourself a savings account or make, great budgeting decisions, etc., on a daily basis. But when it comes to those really big life decisions that often impact the ones we love around us, so our children or our parents, like you mentioned, or our other halves, we really do want to make the right decision so that we feel that we've done the right thing by them. And I think that's really where the professional advisors, as you mentioned, who are regulated, they're qualified, they do this day in, day out. That's where they're really going to come into their own and give you the confidence that you're making the right financial decisions and planning for the future in the right way for you and your family.
So let me ask, you're a third party, a middleman kind of then, because I would, let's say, go on, fill out all that information. Unbiased would then link me with maybe a couple different choices of financial advisors that I would I connect to them through your website?
So we're slightly different in that we only connect to one chosen advisor. And I think that's what makes the difference, that with over the years, managed tens of millions of people finding the right advice through our information and our tools and our search. And so we've managed we call it a journey, but really the sequence of steps that you go through to ensure that you get matched with the right advisor. And so I don't know if you're anything like me, but if you go on and to book a holiday, for instance, and there's lots of decisions to make and you put in your dates, etc., and where you want to go, by the end of the process, you've looked at all these different destinations and you're pretty exhausted by it. We wanted to take that pain away from the user. We want them to put in the minimum amount of information because often they don't actually know what they're looking for. We want to understand what type of professional advisors we have in the local area so that we can match them up. And really our algorithm that we've created and we've tuned over time ensures that within 60 seconds, a match will be made.
Oh, wow.
And you can go on and then take advice rather than spending all your time and effort in choosing an advisor. Now, all the advisors, as I mentioned, they're regulated. We check to see with the regulator that they are currently regulated, and we list the sort of qualifications, etc. So by the time we've matched you, we know that you're likely to be able to have a good conversation with this advisor and they're going to be able to help you.
And is there someone, a live person, in addition to, the computer stuff that you fill out and the questions that you answer? Could somebody also, like if I have a situation where it's not really covered in your questionnaire, or it's always a little bit more detailed, nuanced, is there someone I can connect with on unbiased.com?
So all the advisors pretty much for all the financial questions you'd have would be able to help you. So we don't have sort of telephone support for that, but that's something that we've found that many people don't really want. The advisors actually do the job of having those conversations with our users that we can support their requirements 24/7. A user can come in, fill that information in, and the advisor can have that chat and conversation either online or via the phone, where they've been matched via the platform. So it's in the users and the advisors' hands, really, and they take that forward and have that great conversation between them.
Okay, cool. Last question before we have to wrap up. How young do you think people can be when they start using your platform? I remember being in my 20s thinking, I don't need to start worrying about this yet, but now I wish that I had at that age. So what do you think?
That's a great question. Look, the earlier the better, but really, look, don't worry at any time. Seek advice or open some accounts and start saving. If you don't have much money, then focus on your budgeting first of all and understand where your money's going. If you do, then maybe get some wage increases, etc., and you are able to put some away. Ensure that you're looking sort of tax efficient savings or cash or some investment accounts, and then really take the step. Talk to an advisor and just get some guidance about what you should be thinking about.
Unbiased.com. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. This is an amazing tool. Unbiased.com, Karen Barrett. And
thank you, Mary.
You're watching America Trends. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow.